What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here at the Rams Park in Istanbul. It's finished 3-2 to Galatasaray. And you've got to say, I mean, for an hour of that game, it looked like a team well out of their depth playing in a place like this. The atmosphere was intense, it was hostile. I've never experienced an atmosphere like it. And I've been to places like Red Star Belgrade and places like that. But, you know, for the last half an hour, down to 10 men after Will Lancashire gets sent off, I thought, you know, we showed a bit of bottle.
It's one of the strangest games you'll ever see because we actually went down to 10 men and started to look a bit better. The players that came on really affected the game. Looking at Rodrigo Bentancur, Kulusevski was fantastic when he came on. And Big Dom Solanke were just we are a completely different side with that guy in it. And the work that he does for the team, unbelievable. But I think you're right, at the end of the day, we did let the atmosphere get to us a little bit. They make it very intimidating for you. The whole time we had the ball, they're booing.
The whistles and the boos and the cheers,
and it affected us. You see, we couldn't get into our passing rhythm at all. We were misplacing passes in that first half. It was very, very frustrating. But in all honesty, I think 3-2 flatters us a little bit because they could have scored 8 or 9 here.
100%. I mean,
clear chances.
Going into half-time at 3-1, I mean, that definitely flattered us at the time. They had about 5 or 6 clear-cut chances. We were getting open up time and time again. Radu Dragusin, I mean, I don't know what he was on tonight. You look at the first half, I think the only player that really covered itself with glory from starting the game, I would say 2, maybe Bissouma and Archie Gray at times as well. Apart from that, everyone else that started just went way out their depth, didn't they?
They did, and I'm sure Ange was on to them about the atmosphere. It's going to be hostile. They should be expecting it here. You're coming to one of the most craziest fans in the world, so you've got to expect it.
The reality is, though, like, if you play your strongest team, it's going to be a really difficult game under these circumstances. We played 3 or 4 teenagers today.
It's true.
A much changed size. Fraser Forster playing out that scared the life out of me today. But I think the way we clawed ourselves back in the game after it should have been out of sight for Galatasaray, you've got to give credit to the boys.
100%. Credit is due for the players that came off the bench and fought for the team, for the badge, to try and get us back in it, and we did. We did have a little chance right at the end. You know, Kulu from about 50 odd yards could have.
I thought that was creeping in, you know.
I
really thought that was creeping in.
You would have seen these fans turn very quickly at Rams Park. But look, at the end of the day, I think Europa League, the way the system is, we're practically qualified with the points that we've got at the moment. So I think Ange did, with those half-time subs taking off Sonny, he really is prioritising Sunday in Ipswich. So it is what it is. We still had a lovely time out here in Istanbul. It's a lovely, beautiful city, absolutely gorgeous. Shame we couldn't come away with the point, nick a point there.
I do like what Ange did, though. I mean, he showed us like where he's at with this game, because I was saying all along, like, I'm not really that bothered about the result as long as we get the result on the weekend. And at half-time, 3-1 down, he takes off Johnson and Sonny. So I thought that, look, as much as, you know, Sonny and Johnson weren't exactly performing at their best levels in the first half, Johnson puts in a lovely cross for Lancashire's goal in the first half. That, by the way, that finish from Dom Solanke for our second was absolutely at the top draw. But I like that Ange took off Sonny and Johnson at half-time, because we need them for Sunday.
100%. We do need them for Sunday, and we go again. You know, we take this defeat with pride at the end. You know,
we're only a point off the top.
We're only a point off the top. We went down to 10 men, and we really did look like, you know, somehow getting back into that in the last few minutes. 3-2 does flatter us a bit, but we go again Sunday.
All right. Sai, thoughts on the game?
Obviously, like, really disappointed, really. Just the way we set ourselves up in that sort of... The first half was just a disaster with all the poor passing, the poor decisions.
Out of our depth, though, didn't
it was terrible, yeah. But then, we heard you say just a minute ago about that last 30 minutes. It's just amazing what happens when you put, you know, good top quality players on that know what they're doing. There's a lot more structure, a lot more belief in the players passing to each other. But it was literally chalk and cheese if you look at it in that way. But you do have to take that positive in that sort of last 20. I generally thought we were going to get a result after, even just going down to 10 men.
It felt like it. There was a bit of something in the air, wasn't it?
And do you know what? I know it's hypothetical, but if we didn't go down to 10 men and we made those changes, I think we could definitely have got something. The crowd started dumbing down. They were starting to get a few lazy passes in as well, things like that. So, yeah, that's all just dreams in my head. But it's happened now. But this stadium is incredible. The fans are incredible. And yeah, I think the ref accommodated to a lot of that, to be fair. There's a lot of weird decisions, but you're going to get that in stadiums like this. But yeah, I mean, overall, as Amir said, it's been an incredible journey, little trip here. But yeah, we've got to take the positives in the sense that first half team is very different to the one that finished the second half.
Absolutely.
And more of those second half players will be playing on Sunday. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing that some of these players have had an opportunity to play in a big game like this, and some of the mistakes were so bad.
You talk about opportunities to young players, which fair, you can give those guys a bit of a pass in this game. But you've got players like James Madison who had the captain's armband to him, and I thought he was shocking.
He's had a strange season, maybe even towards the back of last season as well. And Leicester fans always said that he fizzles out. I'm not going to play into that too much. He's obviously a quality player, but you do have to step up, and especially if you're like a vice captain or a captain coming in, you want to see some fight.
As well.
Yeah, you want to see some fight and some. I know he's playing on the wing quite a bit in this game, which is a bit odd as well. That's no excuse as a pro footballer, supposedly his level, but it's not fair to just single him out. There was a lot of players that just weren't up to it.
He was supposed to be the one with the experience and the know-how.
You would
in this
think
kind of
he would have
though.
taken that game on, and especially coming on after that great free kick that he scored against Villa and relatively good performance when he came on, that would drag into this game. But it just didn't coordinate in that way at all, and I think that just spread along some of the other players in the team today as well. So yeah, it was always going to be a difficult game.
Yeah, the reality is, we should have been 6 or 7-1 down.
Oh my god!
Before we scored that second
and it was
goal.
those kind of things where I was sat there going, this could actually go in our favour after all this is happening. But it was just too little, too late in that last bit, and the 10 men just took it beyond us. You
talk about the players that came on and changed the game. I mean, Dom Solanke and Rodrigo Bentancur was so brilliant when they came on. That little bit of skill from Rodrigo Bentancur to take it away from 3 or 4 players all around him that was elite. That was absolutely elite. I thought Kulusevski was good as well when he came on, but Dom Solanke really took the game to him, didn't he?
Solanke is like an absolutely fantastic forward. I said in one of our chats the other day, I don't remember a player like that up front for a long time. Kane used to do that quite a bit. Not so much. Kane didn't really do too much when he lost the ball or we needed to get the ball back. He tended to start fade off a bit. Solanke's just on it all the time. And to get that goal, absolutely fantastic, of course. But he's just general play across that is the kind of determination and like what you want to be having your other players perceive to want to play like throughout the whole entire game.
Yeah.
That's where you have a bit of a comparison with Madison and Solanke in that situation, where there was one player fighting and determined to do everything and anything for the team, even if he didn't have the ball, versus players that should be doing that. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating. We had a couple of chances at the end there. The Kulu lob over the top. I know you thought it was in. I was like, oh, that's terrible, but. It's a shame that didn't go in because 3-3 would have been an absolute beauty after everything that's happened in this game. But it is what it is.
It's not the end of the world, is it? A loss here. We're still 1 point from the top of the group. We're definitely, and in my opinion, we're definitely going to finish in the top 8. So it's not a detrimental loss by any stretch of the imagination. So you dust yourselves off. A lot of players didn't play 90 minutes that are going to play on Sunday. So we go again Sunday and we go again for 3 points. Sai, big up to you. Have a safe trip back to London, my friend. And that's us over and out from the Rams Park in Istanbul. Spurs have lost by 3-2 in a very interesting game here. But we'll see you all later. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on Spurs.